operational problems.
Yeah, but I get it though.
Left hundreds and thousands of frustrated Californians.
Okay, they still trying to figure it out. They got people backed up. They got people complaining.
Yeah.
They was just hitting the button and letting it go. And the fact that it was pandemic and they were letting people backdate all the way back to March. Since then, they've cut it out. You cannot do backdating at this point because of all that. That's where the problem was.
Right.
So they say is with the backdating. They were allowing people to backdate all the way to the beginning of the pandemic.
They said the state agency
and get those benefits.
The state agency has processed an unprecedented 18.5 million claims.
Exactly.
And paid out more than $110 billion in benefits.
That's what I'm talking about. Now,
since March,
when the news started telling, oh, this is what's going on, when certain things started going on, when niggas started going and invading Gucci and in the midst of the pandemic, going to buy all this shit, it threw flags. It threw flags. So how do you fix it?
Right.
Well, first they said, bam, when they shut it down for like 2 weeks. They brought another contracted company to come in and take over the identification. Now, what happened? Anybody coming in would have to deal with these new verifications. You need your driver's license. You need 2 forms of primary. You need 2 forms of secondary.
ID.me.
Now, whatever, boom, ID.me. So they brought these individuals in, and so they're in charge of the verification. And the bottom line is, if you don't fall within those parameters, if you don't provide those documents, it's real simple. You're not going to get the benefits. Here's the problem. A lot of us don't have birth certificates. A lot of us don't have
Social Security cards.
Social Security, actual original Social Security cards.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have passports on hand. That's something we need to look at as a people, as a community, as a group.
Yeah.
And make sure that we have these documents. There are a lot of us that are responsible, and you got a little safe in the house or a locked file cabinet where you keep you and your kids' sensitive documents. That could be questionable too. Some people could say you want to put them in a safety deposit box. Everybody can't afford to pay a certain amount just to house those documents.
Right.
So you can get a little safe at the house and put it in wherever you put it. But it becomes very important to have documents on hand, because when things like this happen, how much frustration do you go through trying to run around and to get the birth certificate? You need something.
Several days.
In order to get a passport, you need a birth certificate.
Yep.
So it becomes a domino effect and a very frustrating process to get the documents, to submit the documents. Then you got to sit on the phone with these people 4 to 5, 3 hours, 6, 7 hours before you get to somebody. You missing one of the documents and they tell you, oh, it's okay, go get the document or go track the document down and just call us back. You'll get through. I've been on the phone for 5 hours. What you mean? I don't want to let you go.
Yeah.
That becomes a very frustrating. I've been running around for the last 6, 7 days trying to track these documents down because I don't have them.
Yeah. Yeah. It becomes aggravating. You know what I mean? And I've seen a couple cases where they was on Channel 7 that they was going bonkers over the situation. And one of the situations where the lady put the information in, they kept telling her that her address was wrong. So she said, fuck it, I'm just going to go with this address. Why did that shit go through? So she wasn't tripping. She was throwing her hands up. You know what I mean? You verified me.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about as far as this inadequate system, per se. Slow, outdated, dinosaur computers.
Right. Database that you cross-referencing the addresses.
Right.
Well, it sounds like wherever she living is a new piece of property.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it might not have registered in the database yet.
Yes.
So if it's not in there, it gives you an opportunity to type it in. But if you're not computer savvy,
right,
if you're not up on that you can add that in there, or if it's giving you, like you say, you're frustrated, you don't see yours.
She kept trying to update it. She kept trying to update it. It still wasn't taking.
It might be 1207 and a half.
Right.
It's not taking a half. Somebody just added a new apartment on the facility, 1207A, 1207B.
That is true.
You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is that upgrade is not updated into the database, so now it becomes a problem for that lady. frustrated.
Right.
Frustrated. It ain't her fault.
Yeah.
It ain't the system's fault. But until they come across that problem and somebody writes in a piece of code that can actually go in there and rectify that situation, or they're made aware of it, that's just an issue that's going to be out there.
And it's funny you said it, because you made a valid point. Most of EDD information is some of the shit you already been there from previous jobs. Especially if, like in our case, we worked 10, 15 years, and, you know what I mean? And wasn't even thinking about, didn't even tap into that resource. So the person that's worked for a job for so long, and that's like riding a new bike. That's all new shit. You know
right.
I mean?
Somebody
like if you've been at a job 15 years, how you gonna go on an interview? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't been practicing.
Right. Well, you can go on an interview because you have to practice, but you've been on that job for 15 years or 20 years, and you become laid off because of the pandemic, or your job is going under because of the pandemic, for whatever the case may be, and now you find yourself having to apply for EDD. You're not a professional EDD person. Right, you're not a professional person that's, milking the game. You go to work every day, but you need your benefits, and now you frustrated because you don't know what's going on.
Right. So, you're right, and it causes a lot of aggravation, especially for that person that's just been knowing just to go to work every day. Like they check was already accounted for.
Right.
I mean, even though you work and you pay into systems like this, Social Security and other things like that, so you should be able to tap into whether you got laid off or not.
Well, I'll tell you what, 1.4 million unemployment claims. That's they say that equals $2 billion in fraud concerns. So if they can cut that back, and it's real simple. You can tell they have very strict guidelines and rules on what they will and will not. Once you clear. But until you produce those documents, you got to give it to these people. They are not letting your ass through.
Yeah, and it says the suspended claims could represent $28 billion in benefits if they follow the trend cited by the authorities of payments averaging $20,000 per claim. So it's a backup. They backed the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they didn't brought out an out-of-state agency that, you got to get up at 4 in the morning to get in that window. So
they brought a whole new company in.
Right under our noses.
They brought a whole new company. Well, you know what? Listen, they had the company had the right technology in place, and the company they capitalized on what's going on with this pandemic. They made millions of dollars on this contract, and they working it. They got people working from home, and all they do is check to make sure you got your driver's license, your birth certificate, a bill, and whatever the little list of documents that you need. If you ain't got them docs, don't even call. Don't sit on that line. You're gonna piss yourself off.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, because all you gonna do is you're just gonna be fucking mad.
Don't do it.
And it's just get your documents, and you know what I'm saying, so you can clear your name and get your benefits.
Now, I see why they did it though. The inconvenience is they're inconveniencing a lot of people.
Right. Just to put these tactics in place to slow the process down of paying out or auditing purposes. So I get what they're doing. They're trying to slow it down so they can.
Oh, they're gonna slow it down completely. But here, check this out. For every claim that they suspend, if it's a fraudulent claim, and if that person cannot produce the documents, because it's not just about producing the documents, because you have to do a video interview with these people. You got to hold a goddamn
ID up, all your documents
next to your face.
Right.
So they're being very thorough. Excuse me. They're being very thorough in their processes and their protocols.
Right.
So it's real simple. All those that open up all them fraudulent claims, if you can't stand the video, even if you can produce the documents, if you can't stand the video, and you shut it down.
Right.
Shut it down. It's real simple. There wasn't a loophole that had been exploited, and it got loose in the neighborhood, and a lot of people were able to cash in on the loophole.
Right, and I actually believe that was the
they closed the loophole.
I actually believe that was the reparations, and we missed the window. we missed the window as far as properly investing.
Well,
So, like I said, EDD.
when the fucking reparations, but
I mean, shit. If a nigga running around here with 100,000 in possession, if that ain't reparations, then what the is it?
yeah, but I mean, what? Who got the reparations? You got a bunch of slick dudes, just hustlers, dudes that's not going to invest no 100,000 into the community. They're going to buy red bottoms. They're going to buy Gucci
Chains,
belts. They're going to buy
clothes.
50 little chains. They're going to make sure they get them a European car.
Yeah.
All of the things that they could not afford, or all of the little trophies that make us feel better about who we are, because we ain't done nothing, produced nothing,
Right.
or amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
We need all of these material things, the Benz, the Audi, the red bottoms. We need this to bolster our egos.
Right, and it's stupid. It's like invest in something else.
I would rather, and shouts out to Dr. Boyce Watkins in the Black Business School.
Yes.
Go check them out. Dr. Boyce Watkins in the Black Business School. And, he teaches in several different courses and classes on how we could just pretty much build with our own.
Yeah.
We got a
Roll
we
them
got a lot
dollars
of
over.
we
Roll
have a
them
lot
dollars
of
over.
examples. Dr. Claude Anderson, Boyce Watkins, where we can follow financial instructions that can really help our people. And so when somebody do come across that $100,000, okay, I'm not saying don't buy nothing for yourself and do nothing for yourself, but put 25 of that into a business.
Yep.
Okay, put 25 of that funnel it into cryptos or some type of investment.
Right.
So that you're just not, going through this money, man.
Or create a savings for your kids or something like that. Like you said, be real productive. If you come across a lump sum of money, to really invest back into yourself or back into what you're doing. But like I said, with this EDD stuff, man, like I said, I just felt like people touched a lot of money, you know what I mean? And
Well, they put brakes on it, that's for sure.
They definitely put brakes on this shit. Everything is down to fraudulent scans. Like you said, if you don't have all these documents and you willing to sit there 4-5 hours and put your face on the camera and show your shit, it's gonna be a lot more claims denied. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Well, it definitely shook up the neighborhood because a lot of people that would have bona fide claims have been tied up.
Right.
People who actually depend on that money to make their rents, to keep food,
Yeah.
on the table and whatnot.
It's being affected.
Have been tied up. And if you don't have no money to produce the documents or make sure,
Excuse me.
to get the things that you need,
Right.
it's kind of, you this pandemic just gets worse and worse for some of us. So
You're gonna lose every time.
yeah, not all of us, but it is definitely getting harder and harder for our people to hold on, especially with these types of roadblocks. Somebody that might have been down this has been going on since January 6th. It's January 24th today.
But actually, some people have been down since like November, 2, 3, even maybe 4 months. So, it's been going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ramped up even more.
It's
It's just now you're starting to see it on the news and Channel 7 and some of the people getting angry and
Well, I think it started in October. It started in October, and I just think that they have perfected their protocols down to the fact where they said, you know what, it's taking too long.
everybody's gonna get hit.
It's taking too long. Every 3 months, we need to hit about 1 million people. Wow. So we're gonna cut them. We're gonna hit them.
Yeah, no matter if we knock all people benefits, we need to wake the people up.
The only way we're gonna weed them out is we cut everybody, and who only the people. Now this is what I would do if you are on unemployment benefits and you have not been hit. I suggest you gather whatever documents you need. Go on their website, find out whatever documents they're gonna need for ID.com or something. What is that?
Yeah, it's ID.me.
ID.me.
Yep.
Check them out, see what documents they have, because what happens is if you have these documents on hand, you can straighten this out within a day or two.
Right.
If you don't have these documents on hand, it just stretches out your situation, and it can definitely make your household situation uncomfortable.
And I advise you to try to do this as early as possible in the morning, because you are dealing with people that are in other states and it might be working from home. So just have patience and, like you said, if you could prove yourself, you could figure this out in 48 hours, tops. And to add to that, Assemblyman Miguel Santiago of Los Angeles just said that suspending these benefits during the highest unemployment rates and rights before bills are just really cruel and just not even right. So y'all hear that from an assemblyman in California that's saying that he's really angry and disbelief with EDD, and they continue to fail at the one job that they need to do is get their people the benefits that's in need. So shouts out to Assemblyman Miguel Santiago, man, of Los Angeles, Democrat. So I'm trying to do my best to report this, as professional as we can. We're setting the bar at the Compton edition, right, James?
The Compton edition. We're trying to step it up a notch. We're trying to get away from some of the coonery and buffoonery and actually bring some real
news
and commentation, about our city, about things that affect us, and just basic conversation. We can have barbershop talk without it being extremely vulgar. We're not trying to be so sanitized to where it's not something where we're comfortable. But we don't want to offend anybody, run anybody off either with the language.
And we also we have a platform where I have my morning show, the Cushy Coffee morning show. That show is a little bit more raunchier. This is a more scaled down situation. So if you could tune in the morning at 7:30, then we could. You could get all the raunchiness out your system, absolutely. But this one, we're bringing hard cut news and some of the news that's affecting some of the people and this is affecting everybody. This EDD, this 1.4 million. So, like you said,
that's a lot of people.
They went down the line and just hit the button on everybody.
And I'm pretty sure quite a few people within the boundaries of Compton fell into that 1.2 million.
Right.
I guarantee you, our people in our community felt that.
Yep.
Very hard. You might be already behind with your rent, and you have to communicate to your landlord that I just don't have it. Right, I don't have it. I got kids and I don't have it.
And praying they don't put you out.
Come on.
So we hoping everybody can straighten out this issue. It's not just this is not a color thing. This is hitting everybody. So please do what they say on id.me. And then when I was looking at that website, because I did a little research, that they also deal with other Social Security and other governmental agencies. So this is like you said, this company has been in the business for a while.
Yeah.
And they got a team of people and people that's, they got a real sophisticated system going on. They took that Zoom, like what you was talking about, and what was that chat? Is that Zoom? That's Zoom, right?
Well, the Bigo?
No, the Zoom when you do the meetings.
Yeah, Zoom.
Right. Remember you was first talking about it?
Zoom.
Some of these companies have really took advantage of that technology, and especially in this day and age, you would have had to.
Zoom has grown 20 times over, bro.
You would have had to send your documents in to get verified, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Not no more.
So this is...
All you need is a smartphone.
Right.
All you need is a smartphone.
Right.
And everything is tied to your phone now anyway.
It is.
Everything is tied to your phone. So that's how they doing it now. Most people don't have house phone. Most people only have a cell phone. So whether you know it or not, your cell phone is tied to your credit account, your credit profile. If you don't produce that same phone number on that shows up on your credit profile, a lot of times as a security feature,
it knocks you out.
They won't even let you move forward at this
They won't
point.
even let you look at what's on your credit to dispute it.
Exactly.
So that's just some little game and little jewels that we know. But this EDD stuff has really, I guess it's just started the year off kind of crazy for individuals.
Well, it just reminded you that pandemic ain't over.
Right.
You know?
said it, and you said it right. You hit it right on the nail.
It's just a
this
reminder.
Pandemic is not going nowhere anytime soon.
You know, the push is gone from testing to vaccination. So, you know, we're going to see how that turns out.
Well, I think they should have been doing that before.
Well, they just got proof for the vaccination.
Well, you know, I think we in a world with some of the best scientists.
Man, they only had a year to work on that. I'm good.
Yeah, 12 months is not a long time.
I don't trust the man that much to where it's only been a year.
Yeah, I just think that is entirely too
You got to
fast.
spend some more overtime on that motherfucker before I take a
Yeah,
shot.
I just think that is entirely too fast. I mean, I'm sure that
Y'all can take it. I hope it's what it is. They already talking about there's a new European strain,
a stronger
strain of the COVID.
right. Yeah, it's a never-ending story. It just keeps.
So what you working on was COVID-19. This is COVID 2021.
Wow. Yeah, when you start putting name on shit, that's
Right?
You're right. That is COVID 2021.
It's COVID 2021 or just COVID 21. I mean,
Right.
it's different. It's more aggressive.
Because I thought that was kind of crazy when they said COVID-19, but that's when it really.
That's when it came out at the end in November, December of 2019. And then we lived through it in 2020.
You know what? 2019 was a hell of a year, though. It was up and down. Jesus Christ.
2020 was worse to me.
Yeah, I think it was a lot.
2020 was worse.
Yeah, I could say that. Worse in a lot of areas, not my health or nothing like that, but in a lot of areas, absolutely. It looks like we kind of covered all of the bases on this EDD situation.
Yeah. Last thing we want to address and throw our nod of support here at the Compton Edition podcast radio show is the recently we had some of our people. I believe C. Ryder was one of them.
Absolutely.
And trying to find the information that I pulled up. I might have jumped on a different page or something. But pretty much, they were calling for a gang truce in our city, as well as the surrounding cities of Los Angeles, South Central, Southern Los Angeles, whatever you want to call it, Watts.
Right.
You know, as of earlier this week, there had been 25 murders in LA County, and over 40-something people shot. It's only January 24th.
Yeah, so that's 12 days into the month. It's ridiculous.
You know, it was 25 murders, 12 days in. It's the 24th, so we've covered another 12 days.
Right.
And
It's been
unfortunately, these people are still going. They're still going strong.
So it's really 50 murders in the city.
I don't want to throw the. It's not necessarily in the city, but LA County as a whole.
Okay.
So, you know, in our daily lives, we hear about these stories. Or they shooting over here on this street or that street, or as we moving through the city, people like, yo, they got this street taped off over there. Make sure you go around so you don't get caught up in that nonsense. It's got to stop. I don't know what the anger is. I don't know where it came from. Like I said,
Right.
around this time last year, we was gearing up, getting ready for George Floyd. You know, the amount of unity that we've experienced in the midst of the pandemic during 2020, I don't understand why it has not carried over into 2021.
Right.
In a sense of these streets. You know, I listened to one of the bloggers, and he's telling the story of how they going through the same thing in Dallas. We going through it here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and they also were saying it's kind of going like that in Baltimore as well.
Yeah, so all of these major metropolis, big cities where our people are, the young people, I hate to say it, they've taken some of this EDD money and bought heavy artillery, and they're using it on each other. I don't understand what's going on. What is the male young bravado that makes you to where you feel like you gotta kill?
I was at that age at that time, and the testosterone and just like, yeah, I'm a youngster, but I never wanted to, you know what I'm saying, hurt nobody, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna protect myself, but I can't relate to it because I was doing sports and shit like that, man.
Pops said something to me a long time ago. It made a lot of sense, and to somebody that has, on occasion, carried a pistol for whatever reason, I felt like I needed it. I've always felt calmer when I had a pistol, in the sense of when I ain't got no pistol, I really can't control the environment.
Right.
And so I might be angry, like really expressing that anger if I'm out somewhere, motherfucker disrespect me, or somebody, let me stop cursing, somebody disrespect me.
Right.
If you have a pistol on you 9 times out of 10, or a gun, most of the time people will let certain stuff slide because they know that I got the power to really end this in a way that you really don't want this to go down. You running your mouth, but you really don't, you're not ready.
Yeah.
So I don't understand if you're in a position where you know that you really can resolve this issue, you really don't have to pull it. You really ain't gotta brandish. You ain't really gotta shoot.
You got the upper hand already.
Some of these people I've been hearing about been shot 19 times, 30-something times. That's come on. I don't understand it. I don't.
That's overkill,
It's
bro.
black on black.
That's overkill. Ceasefire 2021.
Yeah, ceasefire 2021. We gonna support our brethren in the city.
Yep.
We calling for everybody in the city to take a breath, take a step back, and value life. One thing I will say to the young people, you have not lived long enough to really appreciate all that life has to offer. Live longer. Enjoy life. Appreciate life. Life is not something that you throw away or that you take in a whim. It's very precious. Nobody want their mama crying. Nobody want their sisters and brothers crying. Nobody want to be away from their kids. We need to learn to just take a deep breath, give our mamas a hugs, right. Give our daughters and our sons a hugs, okay? And appreciate life. Young people, hold on to life. Don't throw it away. Don't be so quick to throw it away. We got to hold on. And I don't want to sit here and preach, because that's not what the Compton edition is about.
Nope.
We're going to end on a good note. We praying, and we hope that everybody in our city is uplifted and is brought to a better place. So that's all we have to say. Ceasefire 2021.
Yep.
The Compton edition.
Mac Mizzle.
And we out. Okay, this concludes another episode of the Compton Edition podcast. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well as the bell to get notifications of new episodes and exclusive interviews. You can get merch at www.maddrama.com. That's MADDDRAMA.com. Also, there'll be merch at baggerbrand.com. That's www.baggr-brand.com. Thank you for supporting the movement, peace and unity, and thank you for giving us your time. All right. We out.